Well, I thought that was going to be an easy run. The engine is finally out.
So in the last episode, if you've not seen it, go and check it out, but we pulled out the 2 litre TDI engine CR170 ready to go inside the VW Caddy. And we identified that actually there is a fault with the turbo, because when we took the latch off the back of the DPF, there was oil dripping all the way down there. So there's definitely a problem with the oil seals on the turbo, which is why it just recently started smoking, and they sold that for £600 to me. So it's a bargain for me.
So there's the engine. Obviously, you know, I'm quite used to having an engine now sat in the garage, so although it's not got loads of space, but I can manoeuvre around it as I need to. So engine's there. I've whipped the turbo off, which is just on the workbench here. So this is the turbo. Now obviously this is the DPF side, isn't it, or the exhaust side, and look at all the oil. I don't know if you could see that very well inside there, but there's definitely a seal. There's definitely a seal gone, because you can see that pool of oil inside there. Now I have tried to move the fins on the turbo just to see if there's any play. Just try again. I'm pretty sure. So there's no play in the turbo, the actual turbo itself. There's just a seal that's gone, so I don't know whether I can get away with just replacing a seal. The actual turbo is free. It moves round absolutely fine, but it's just as though a seal has gone. So I mean, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Should I keep it? Can I replace the seal and just give the turbo a good clean? Because that would be ideal, because I could literally get that straight back into the engine block and back on. Now if you haven't seen these, turbo side is just round there, so, and it's slightly different to the Caddy engine, but, and just like that we have got the engine out of the, try to be all professional there, out of the Leon. Now ECU also came out as well, and let me show you what else we've got left over. So you guys know from the last video that we need to get a turbo, and I've got the engine mount for the Caddy, so I want to get the drive shafts out, and I want to get this engine mount from here, out of here. That dust there, grime. I want to get it out of there, so at least, I'm hoping it's a 17 or an 18. Tiny man, nothing like that. I don't know if I need to take this bracket or not. I must do. Never looked at one of these before. So, like I said, I am learning just as much as you guys are learning when you watch these videos, so hopefully you enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, because it doesn't cost you anything and it helps me out massively, and at least I know that people are watching it and I can carry on doing content. So there's 4 bolts here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that should bring up that right hand side mount, and that's the gearbox side mount for the 6-speed that we need to take in the Caddy. So we're gonna whip this off. And again, you don't want to thread any of these bolts. I probably should crack these off by hand, but probably fine just doing it very gently and just easing the bolt out. I was watching one of the lads, DTE Nathan, talk about threading these bolts before, and that's the last thing that I want to do as a newbie. So we'll take that out of there. We've got one last bolt left. And then that mount should, I think there's been a bird in there at some point. Well, let's go and have a look and see if that'll fit. Straight, that's the old engine mount out, and as I mentioned, it's got two holes inside here, as you can see. So and the other one's got three. So obviously it's a decent engine mount. I know DTE, Nathan, if you're watching or your mate's watching, you need an engine mount. I don't need this. If you want it sending out, just give me a shout and I'll send it out to you. As the bolt holes are just exactly the same, which is why we like these cars, because if everything lines up, it's perfect. Let's get all of these lined up. And then again, as I've watched all the lads do it now, they do say every time you're going to do this with a dugger, just put it in nice and carefully, not trying to round anything off, and then tighten it up by hand is what Nathan and some of the lads keep saying. Just check it's steady. Sounds good. They're all going in quite nice, and then I'll just torque them up to spec. That wiring loom's really in my way, isn't it? This back bolt, we can deal with that. Just push it over a little bit. Mr. Wiring loom, can you get out my way, please? So just get a bar, get them tightened up with a bar, and that's the engine mount all done and dusted. Yeah, I don't know how tight they need to be, but get them tight as you can. That's pretty tight. That's tight. Feels tight. And that one in the back. You feel pretty darn good. So that's the new engine mounting. Bolts just sat there, ready to get bolted up. Clutch line, I don't know what it's called. Gearbox, fluid, clutch, thingy-majiggy, this thing here. So this pipe that goes into there is a little clip on the top of there. So this line is what I'm after. Just here. This cable that sits right down the bottom, you can't see it at the minute, this one here. So this connects to the gearbox. I think it's for fluid. I've not had a look at it properly yet, but just goes into that little junction box just at the back. Underneath it somehow. There you are. There you are. Just like so. And then you can flick that little clip up. There she is. Something's oily. Just put these bloody gloves on, man. So that clip comes up, oops, comes out. And I think this thing's, oopsie daisy, should just wiggle out of here. There you go. And then that, like you say, just needs to get clipped into the Caddy, and that's for the new gearbox. So again, let's get that over. Let's get that done straight away, so we know. And it goes to here. So that comes out of there and goes round to there. So that is different. So I may need to take it right from the pump. Let me go and have a little look at the Leon. That clip somewhere safe. So I've got the full run now. So rather than just a little bit of it, I'm going to have to give this a big clean inside here with a proper scrubby brush because it's minging. It's got a little clip on. You just take that out of the way for now. And luckily enough, the 6-speed and the 5-speed come out together. Use the same bracket at the back, which is ideal. And you can see, look at all that brake fluid just coming out of there. So just be mindful that I think brake fluid is somewhat, not hazardous, but you don't want to get it all over you. So just be careful when you're doing it, pets. Right, so this thing should slide straight in there, like so. Clip into the original bracket, pop the clip back in, and then I can plug the new cable back in here. So this one is the new piece, and it goes directly into there, like so, and then the clip goes on the top to hold that in, and there's the new cable. And I'm pretty sure that, oh, it's absolutely pretty much like for like. That clips in there, like so, and that looks bloody good. So we've got the gearbox cable, we've got gearbox cable, we've got the mount, pretty old. So if you can see there, I've tried just putting in a little bit. I've put a bit of WD on just to hopefully help get them out. They are quite seized in there, the drive shaft. Not seized in there, just tight. Well, that felt a little bit better. Felt like they're moving a little bit anyway. So if we take that out, shouldn't probably do this, but that's going to damage the end doing that. So we ain't going to do that. I'll put the bolt in there just slightly. That move back.
Now what should have been a 5-minute job turned into probably a 25-minute, half-an-hour job. Now if anybody knows what I'm talking about, these drive shafts have not been out in a long time, and you can see by the discs are knackered, the pads look good, the drive shafts haven't been out in a long time, they have no grease on them. So although the rubbers are great, the boots are great, don't get me wrong, they just haven't been maintained. And you guys know that if you take your car apart all the time and keep it maintained, these things come out sweet as a nut, which is why I think the Caddy was so easy to get apart. So you can see here, I'm struggling, I'm constantly trying to just put the bolt in, loosen it, pull it, hammer it, back in a little bit, and just keep going and keep warming them drive shafts up. But I want to show you guys this because some people think, that's easy, that's a doddle. Now when you're faced with this is a pain in the backside, because you should have this done in 5 minutes. So again, applying plenty of heat, plenty of pressure, and after a little bit of time, and by a little bit of time, 20 minutes, finally that drive shaft came out. Now what I'm going to do is lube it up, grease it up, so we don't have this problem again. But I want to share this with you just to show that, look, these smallest things can take a lot of time. So we're starting on the passenger side now, and as you can see there, I've tried to get it off with a Dugga gun. It's having nothing. So again, these have not been out, so I'm just lubing it up with loads of WD-40. I'm trying again, and I'm having no luck. Now don't get me wrong, this Makita is nowhere near as good as the Milwaukee, but I've just got to try and get it as best as I can to get that out. So that's both drive shafts now installed, ready for our brand new 6-speed gearbox that's coming with the new engine. Now we've got the mounts in as well, we've got the gearbox in, and we've got that cable that goes to the gearbox. Now I know it's for the clutch, but again, I don't know what it's called, so please let me know in the comments what that is called, that cable that we installed that feeds back to the back of the pedal. So next thing I think we need to get done is get the cables out, the gear stick cables for the 6-speed, because that is still a 5-speed cable and we need to get the 6-speed cables in. So I think what we're going to do is get inside the van, let's have a look how this comes apart, because I've never taken these cables out before, so it's new to me. If it's new to me, it may be new to you, so let's get cracking.
I have no idea why, but I haven't touched any of this yet, but for somehow the gear cables, I don't even know where they attach. There's a ball joint at the bottom there somewhere, so I must have to take apart this section here to push the cables out, but again, I haven't got the foggiest idea, but I'll do some digging. Let me find. See the gear linkage cables down there, and I can see that actually there is something underneath there. Put my finger underneath. I don't quite know what they're gonna do.
So there's 4 screws that sit inside here that hold that gear lever up and into the chassis. So that is under your under tray as well. So I've had a right nightmare here, but we'll get them loose and then we'll have a look.
Beautiful. 10mm is perfect. So 1, 2. Quite tight, like. Taking dash out. Sugar. I don't even know what this is doing, guys, but I'm going to try it. Look at that. So there's 4 10mm nuts and the gear stick. Well, the gear cables just drop down there. That's all good and well, but how the hell am I supposed to get that out?
And it's worth saying, if you've never done this before, you probably get a little bit confused. There's no way of taking the top unit off from the cables. Now, I know there's clips on the cables, so if I could get to the clips a little bit further back, I could disconnect them at that point in time. But I still need to get the under tray off the bottom of the van to be able to get that gear stick module out. Now that means dropping the exhaust, that means dropping the under tray, so I've got a fair amount of work under the van that I've got to get done to be able to get that gear stick out, and I didn't know this was the case. So the van is obviously really low, so I'm going to have to get it jacked up, get it up a lot higher, at least on one side, now it's on some wheels, and get under there and take that under tray off. Bit of a nightmare, but remember, I've got to do this not only on this car, but on the Leon as well. And I've not got a bloody ramp, so it makes it even worse. But you know what? We've not quitted yet, so let's get cracking.
Right, so clutch cables, I'll have to show you what I've done. It ain't the greatest. I'll have to do the same on the Caddy as well, because I haven't got a ramp. But I really need an under tray, so if anyone's breaking an under tray after, then let me know. So what I've had to do is, I've had to cut and peel back So that is the clutch or gear stick mechanism here. So I've had to cut a hole in the under tray to get it out. Not the greatest, I know. I can just fold that back. I might even take this under tray because it's half decent, and I could possibly just tack weld it back up, but for what it's worth I'll just get a new under tray. But there's the gear stick module underneath. I just need to get it done, and then I can move this Leon out the way, get the Caddy back in. So it's next day and we need to get the clutch cables changed over. Now, I didn't know this, but you guys will have seen I pulled the full clutch gear stick assembly out of the Leon because I thought I needed to do it, but in reality I didn't. So I've now found out what to do. So there's two metal retainer clips on here. All you do is take them two clips off. Once you've done that, this bracket becomes loose. You've then got two of these which come off once you compress the spring. So if you just compress that spring just there like so, watch. Put that a little bit closer so you can see. I didn't realise that compressing it opens it up so it can come off like so. But again, I didn't know that. My fingers are caught. I didn't know that. So it's a lesson learned for me, so hopefully you can see this, but there's two steel retainer clips there. So you need to push them off and pull them back and they come off just like that. So one retainer clip. Hopefully that is right. Looks about right, doesn't it? Like so. And then we've got both of them. This one goes on the right. And this one goes on the left. Like so. So I've took the brackets, I've took them. That one looks a little bit longer. They both look a little bit longer. I don't know if that's right. Again, I'm gonna have to see what it's like when I get it in. If you guys know in the comments, let me know. So after that, that's the gear cables done. Right, I need to get the gear shifter in.
So on this, nice and easy, put your gear gator up and there is a metal retaining clip that holds it on. Now I know I don't need to take the full unit or all the wires, all I need to do is get the sleeve off. So it's got a couple of screwdrivers inside there just to push that clip open. Once that clip was fully open, I could literally pull the top off and take that straight into the VW Caddy. Fairly straightforward, never done it before, but yeah, I'm glad we did need to fit the full unit under the Caddy or it would have been a nightmare.
Boom. And there we have it, the glove is off. So I'm not gonna lie, I made an absolute rookie error taking all of this apart when I didn't need to, because I thought I had to take the full assembly out and I only needed to take the ends off. But steering wheel's in, so we now got the Seat Leon steering wheel and airbag in, which is fantastic. And now I'm just putting the bolts back in to hold the gear lever back in there, which again is brilliant. So I just need to do them 10mm bolts. Going to give this a hoover out, it's minging inside here, but as you can see the black 1, 2 and there's 3, 4. I need to find that fourth one there. I'm going to grab it out the Leon and then we'll get that back in. We'll take this little silver clip off here because that's what's holding on the gator or whatever that's called, that plastic bit. I tried to put a screwdriver in there. I know there's a tool for that, but again I just haven't got one, so I'll just get a screwdriver in, I'll get it pried open. And I think we've got the gear in, the gear stick, we've got the steering wheel inside there, we've got the FR seat inside there, and I feel like we're pretty much nearly there.